Today we are driving into xDesign import. So I know, if you know xDesign tool, which is created by SolidWorks xDesign, it's a web application for CAD users. So we are first in our first video we are talking about import components. So xDesign import is a powerful way to bring your design seamlessly into the workflows. If you have your files, to add those files into the collaborations and the collaborative space. So import is a very strong tool in xDesign to add your data to the collab space, which is already available in other file formats, or if somebody else has created that file and he wants to share with you. So import is a very best tool to add that data to your collaborative space. So click on the import button over here. So there are two ways to do the import. One is import file, and the second one is import button from the action bar. To explain you the import, I am using two different widgets on the same dashboard. So I have added first widget xDesign, and the second widget I have created a new component. So what I'll do is I'll start import from here. So click on import file. Once you click on the import file, you will get the import dialog box. The import dialog box will give you the first file source selection. Source is the way, is a kind of thing is asking you where your file is. If your file is on a 3D drive, yeah, we can import it directly from the 3D drive, or the file on disk, and the file format, which type of a file format you want to import. xDesign supports multiple file format imports such as step, mesh file, IGES file, IDS, then SolidWorks, CATIA, assembly files, as well as IDF file format. So let's start with the step file. My file is on my disk, so I click on the file on disk. Click on the choose file button, select your file, click OK. Here you can add your file directly to the bookmark or your destination. Destination is a name of your collaborative space. So click on the file. I have already created our own collaborative space, so I want all my imported component into different collaborative space, so I am clicking OK. You can also assign the bookmarks to the imported components, so that directly click here, select your bookmark, and that bookmark will be assigned. If you click on the options, we have more options on the step import file. So it is import as a multi-body part and import multi-bodies as a part. So these two are the different two options for the step file. So we will first go with the default option. So it will take the file which is originally saved as it is, then the orientation. So xDesign orientation is Z up, and SolidWorks orientation is Y up. So if you want to change the orientation of your file, you can just select the orientation and you can click on the import. So I'm going with the default option. Click import. In a sideline, if you click on action bar and the import button over here, you will get the same options which we have used on the left side of the window. But there is one more option which is the quicker one, is you can directly drag and drop your files from your locations to the xDesign. It will automatically select all the options. Here you need to select the collaborative space only, or else if you want to keep the collaborative space as it is, you can choose that and click a import button. It will start the import component command. So in our left side widget we have used that all the default options. Now I am using import as a multi-body part. So click over here and say import. So I don't want to save the created new component, so I'll click don't save. So by default it is saved as an assembly component, so that's why this is the top level assembly and all these components are saved over here. So after importing any step file or IGES file, just click the save component, so that this component will be saved to your collaborative space. Now while importing we have used it should be imported as a part. So see that this is imported as a part, and now these are imported as a components into a structure. So this becomes a part and all this becomes a components in it, a small bodies in it. So this is the difference between these two type of a import. So if I use import button and if I have chosen the second option over here, so multi-bodies as a part, so this is a multi-bodies as a part, and now this is a multi-body as a part. So these two different type of step file options which we are supporting in xDesign for the import. Similarly, you can directly go over here, click and do the export. When you say the export, xDesign will also support multiple file format exports such as ACIS, IGES, STEP, STL, but we will go with the native file format, that is the 3D XML. 3D XML is a native file format which is supported throughout the 3D Experience platform. Keep allow editing option active and include the references also. I am exporting my file to my 3D drive, so click export. This will create a 3D XML of my existing component and put it into the 3D drive. Similar way, if I want to import any different kind of a file format, I can choose that type of a file format and I can go back and I can select those file formats and it will be imported. The options, the extra options are available for only other file format. Like if I am importing mesh or object file, it will give me a unit of a import. So what kind of a unit I want to import and then the orientation. If I change the option to IDF file format, so it will show me it's EMN and EMP file. So if I select the choose file and we will select the EMN file over here, it will also give me an option to select the EMP file format. So that's why it is importing all the EDF. Then we have a CATIA file format option. Here we don't have option, but if you are importing any SolidWorks file format, then you will get an option to import a configurations also. So that's how in xDesign you can import a SolidWorks part file directly to the xDesign and you work on it. On the left side window, we have exported our component to our 3D drive. Now it has generated a link for my 3D drive. So I can click on open link. It will directly give me an access to my 3D drive link so that I can share with other users so that they have an access to my data on a 3D drive side. So this is how you can export a data as well as generate a link of that data directly from the export option. So in this option, we have exported it to 3D drive. We have generated a link. After clicking on an open link, the data is opened into the 3D drive section view panel. So that's how you can export the data to the 3D drive. So this is the import and export options of xDesign. You can also export as STL. You can also export as a sldxml. So sldxml file format will be supported in SolidWorks file format. So if you want to open that file into SolidWorks desktop, so I'll prefer to export a file as sldxml. In the same way, if you want to choose export of an option for 3D printing, just go for the STL export. And it will export, and in XTL export it has an option to export the selected component. So if I want to only select any component, so if this top plate is actually required for me to 3D print, I am exporting an STL, and in this one I am selecting this top level component only. And if I generate if I generate an STL file, so I change the file location to 3D drive so that I can show you the export option, and click open. You can see that only the top plate is exported as an STL file. So that's the beauty of xDesign. You can directly export any component as STL file format by just choosing that component export as a component export, and that file will be generated as a STL file format. You can share this file link with anyone, or you can directly download it from over here. It is directly download from your 3D drive to your local disk, and that file will be added to, and you can directly share that file in that way also. So currently I am using export as a 3D drive option, so you can change the file location and you can directly generate an STL file for the same component. You can change the resolutions over here, but I'll go with the fine resolution and do the export. It will directly generate the file and store to your local disk. So that is a import and export option in a simple way. So if you have any questions, please put those questions in the comment. I'll try to answer as many as questions possible. Thank you.